Hello Internet, welcome to jamiljiral. I am Jamil Silva and today I'm going to talk about the Nikon D750. I'll try to explain all the external controls in the camera. So if you are new to photography or you've just bought this camera, maybe this tutorial will be of great help to you. I'm not going to explain in depth about everything that each button does, but I would just try to say that this button does that, and so on and so forth. Probably this tutorial will be a little bit long, and because of that, I will split it in 2 or 3 parts. Let's see how it goes. Well, this tutorial is going to be very basic. Only if you don't know what it does, what each button does, it will be of great help. If you already know, maybe this tutorial will not be ideal for you. Well, let's start because we have a lot to cover. Let's start with the bottom part of the camera. In this plastic here, we have the connector. It hides the connectors with the grip. Once you buy a grip, you will take it out, you peel this plastic out, and then you will put the connector here. This other part of the camera is where you're going to place it in a tripod, and it's going to be used to lock the grip of the camera. Now here we have the battery. This is where you will place the battery in the camera. To open, you will just push in my case, to my right. You push it and then it's open. Actually I have a battery in here. We have this plastic, this orange plastic, and this protects protects the battery from falling. And then you take it out the battery. There is a connector in here. It has to go in the same side with the other connector. So you just put the battery. You're going to listen to this click, and you will close the lid for the battery. Now we have here 2 holes. Those holes are for the grip. You will place the grip here and we'll lock the grip, and then it will be firm. Well, let's move to the other side of the camera. In the side of the camera we have the card slot. Actually we have this slot is for 2 cards. To open, you press to the right, in my right, and it opens. And if you want to take a card out or introduce and insert a card, you will just press it down like this, and the card will go out. And to insert the card again, we'll put the card here and press, and you can listen to a very subtle sound. Now to close the lid, you close it and we'll push it to the left. Now, okay, this part is covered. Let's move on to the next part of the camera. I don't know if I'm talking very fast, but there are a lot to cover, so if you want to, you can rewind the video. Well, in this part of the camera, here we have not the signal, but we have this telling that the camera has Wi-Fi inside of the camera. In this first compartment, when you open it, you have here the connector. If you want, for example, to use a GPS or something like that, an external device, especially for the GPS, it's going to be used more with that. The next compartment, we have here 2, one for external microphone, especially if you want to record things using external microphone. And then the other is the headphones to listen to what you've recorded or something like that. Well, let's close it. The next compartment we have here one part for HDMI. If you want to connect the camera to a TV or to an external recorder, you can do that. And the other is for you to connect your camera to your computer and transfer your pictures or your videos. Well, I think, as you can see those buttons, let's talk about them. Well, This is the button for the manual and autofocus. You have here, there's a white dot and it's in white automatic focus. Once you press it, it will go to manual focus. In the lens, you have the option, some lenses, most of the lenses actually have the option for MA or manual or automatic or for manual. You can leave this option in manual and automatic, and you can deal with this automatic and manual focus here. As now it is in M, it means that I have to focus using here in the lens. I have to move the lens to focus. Now I will go back again to automatic focus. Now the camera will autofocus using this button. It usually comes configured for that from factory, or you can set this button to focus the camera. For beginners, if you have the camera and by accident because it happens to many beginners, if you don't notice that you change this button, it will notice that your camera doesn't want to focus, and maybe you think that your camera is broken or something like that. So one first step is to check it out if this button is in M or autofocus, because if it's in M, the camera will not focus. You have to go back to its place for automatic focus. Well, if you press here, you will change commands in the dials. We have a dial in this part and another dial in this part. Once you press here, you will change here for in my camera is autofocus single. If you press here this button and move the dial, you can go to continuous, to automatic, to single, and here you will change for group areas. Actually, maybe I forget to say about this with the other buttons. You can use the dials for most of the buttons. You press one button and you move the dial here to change something, and you use the other dial to change something different related to that button. Because I may forget to say about that, okay? So if you press here, you will change, for example, here in this small monitor, here I have automatic focus, automatic now, but I don't want that, I want single, no, continuous, single, and then I change it. Now let's move to this, let's turn off the camera, okay, camera is off. This white dot here tells you that once you will insert a lens, it means that you have to place them together. Let's take this lens out for me. Okay, the lens has the same button. Once you take it out and want to insert a new lens, you will place the white dots together and insert the lens. Here we have a button for BKT, which is bracketing. Bracketing is when you want to take different pictures in different exposures. For example, one underexposed, one middle exposure, and one overexposed. You can configure, I think, up to 5 to 6 pictures. I don't remember that, but it's usually up to 5 different exposures. Let's see if it does something. Yeah, here, if you press the bracketing button, you can choose things in here, okay? As I told you, almost all the controls, you can do that. You press on control and you move the dials to change for options. Okay, the next button is for the flash. If you press here, if the camera is on, this flash will pop up. Let's see. Okay, now you're gonna use this flash. If you take a picture now, the flash will go on. Well, let's close it. You can also use this button to mess with the compensation for flash, to make a compensation before you take the photograph. You press here and you will use the dials for that. Okay, I think this side is covered. Let's move on to the other side. It's okay. Well, let's talk about now the front side of the camera. In the front side of the camera, we have here this button, which is used to change the f-stop. If you want to change the aperture, you will use this dial for that. It's especially when you are shooting. If you are shooting, you will use this button for that, but you can use this button to change the other controls, some other configurations. Here we have the button called PF and FM. You can set these buttons to do something, things that you want to. So in the camera, you go to menu and you configure those for that. In my camera, I configure them, I set them to lock exposure when I'm taking pictures, and when I am in a shooting mode, one of them will pop up the level, and the other I don't remember. Well, let's see the other side. Here we have this light, this red light will be used to help the camera focus when the conditions are poor for focusing, when you have a low light situation, for example. This can be set to be automatic or can be set to turn it off or turn it on in the menu. So if it's on, a red light will turn on and will help the focus. In this side we have this is the infrared. If you want to use a remote control, this is where it's going to communicate. Because there is one in the front and another one in the back. If you go and use a remote control, this is where the communication between them will happen. Let me see. This button here, you use this button here to take it out the lens. If you want to take it out a lens, you press, you listen to a sound, take the lens and put the lens back. Okay. Well, once if you want to take to change lenses, it's better turn off the camera, which I didn't do, but now it's off. You turn off the camera because you have to be very careful, because the sensor, if it's on, is more than that, but if it's on or if it's off, the sensor tends to attract particles, dust particles and dirty particles to the sensor. So it's better, if you want to change the lens, turn it off the camera first, put it down like this. You will rotate the lens. Try to do this as fast as you can in a safe way, of course. And then in this position we will avoid dirty particles to go inside of the camera. And then you place the lens again into the camera, and now it's ready to go. Well, let me see if we have something. Here we have, no, this is the screw. We have some holes. Those holes here and all around the camera. You use them to, actually you don't do anything with them, but they are where the microphone will capture sounds. Okay, I think the front part of the camera is ready. Now let's move to the upper side of the camera.